Hi. Let's continue with the website project. Yeah, last time I had some. I worked on the notepad for to sketch some layout concepts for the website, and today I'm gonna continue doing that kind of like layout mock-up stuff, but I'm gonna do it in Krita instead. So we're gonna have a little bit more advanced look, and one of the first things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try some new colors. So we're gonna have a new background. Let's see, how do we do this? I haven't, it's been like maybe a few weeks since I've used this last time. So there should be there is some color. Let's see, I don't think I have it on here. There should be some color selection that lets me type the kind of like hex code. So I'm gonna search that up. I don't think it's this either. This is just like there should be something where I can type the kind of like name of the color. I'm gonna do it here. Specific color selector. Yeah, here you can. So I have this. It's not. So this should pick it up. Okay. Does it change? This doesn't do anything, like color name. Maybe it was not this after all. There was something thing with this that it wasn't like super intuitive with this color thing. So let's just try like every color selector we have. I'm also gonna try, yeah, it's just showing the pink one. Okay, now it changed here. Okay, I have to, okay, now it works. I kinda have to use the previous color or something before it changes. I don't know what. I don't really know what was why is it so complex. So one thing that has kind of like annoyed me with my color selections in the previous mockups is that I always end up using some kind of like let's see if I can get the chat working here. I always end up using some kind of pastel colors, like you can see like these variables here. There's like this sort of light blue, and then there's this pink here, some kind of orange. I like the orange one, but I don't really like this color combination. But maybe it had to do with the background color that I had on, the like dark blue, and with the dark blue it was kind of like a good fit to have. Put some of these off, and so I'm gonna make another. I want to make a group. So we're gonna so now within this group we're gonna have these. So I have like a palette of 5 colors now that I want to try out. So I want to make this kind of like thing. Let's see where I had those colors somewhere here. See how well this work. Okay, so that would be the first color. Can I move this layer if I want? Yeah, okay, that's the first color, and so this green is quite bright, and I also have like a bright red to go with it, and function of this red and green colors is to signify the changes, as you can see here where I have the light green color. So this new green is gonna replace that bright green that I have here. And I want to have like a warm and kind of like earthy color palette, so that's kind of has been my goal here, and I think that fits well with the background. And also I think the subject matter is pretty like grim, and I'm thinking like, okay, this is actually pretty close to the other green. I was hoping there would be a little bit more separation. I might have to consider this darker green still. Actually, I'm gonna put it a little bit above here, so there's, and one more color. So yeah, the subject matter is pretty grim, so I want to have I want the colors be kind of like warm and kind of like, I don't know, comforting or something like that, or somehow like nature oriented or something like that. So we are gonna go ahead and replace these colors with the new ones. There's quite a lot of work there because there's so many individual text here. Oh, okay, this was also what I was thinking, that because I have been thinking about this, that I didn't remember that I had this kind of idea, because there's this thing that for these outcomes, this population outcome here in the center, it's the population in case of survivor multiplied by the survival probability. So it's the product of, okay, sorry, can I do some, it's a product of these two variables, we get this third one. And now this, that's the, after those last two, so these two, they become this like loss of population. So that's kind of like you kind of deduct the population in case of survival, and you deduct the population that takes into consideration the survival probability. So what kind of like how much population is lost in expectation. So one other way to do this is, which I maybe kind of prefer now, is to have this like under this number I would have like in parentheses kind of like the potential population, and then this reduction or something like that, because now there's just a little bit like too many variables, and then there's gonna be this expected thing. But I'm not sure. This is still like still haven't really made up my mind here, but I don't think we have to focus too much on that today. I think I'm gonna just apply the new color system. And I also wonder, like because there's these arrow variables, should I also be changing those? Because I had this idea okay, now I wonder where should I, okay, this is here. Okay, so I'm gonna make some let's see if I can make this well here. So we have like this arrow system where we have like these up and down arrows, and in this case they are like pretty like they're not very tall. So I had this idea that I should have like, because with this case, oh come on, oh what happened, okay, so in this case that we have here, like here, this that I have currently, it's gonna, these are gonna be like very small in the page to click, and they're gonna be used a lot. Like that's like the main way for the user to interact in the site, by clicking these arrows, because that's how you look at like what are the effects of these different, if you have like different values, so how does it affect like other variables and stuff like that. So Um, so these are like pretty like it's hard to hit these like small arrows. It would be easier to hit if they have like I think the easiest shape to hit like maybe like in relation to its like area would be like a circle. But I think the square is also very close, and the square is kind of like optimal in terms of space use, because there's a lot of like in the site I have to be like I have so many like inputs and stuff going on, so they take a lot of space. So I was thinking like replacing these arrows with maybe these squares that have these arrows inside the squares. So that would that kind of like mean you still get the idea that okay, this is up and this is down, but you also get better the idea that it's enough that you kind of like hit this square. You not have to be able to hit the arrow itself. So yeah, that's what I'm doing as well. So I wonder if I want to color these anymore so much like but I think I'll continue with that later. But it's kind of interesting. There's this, oh, I wonder what that's about. Like where does this shadow come from? I'm gonna check out. I think it might be somewhere here. It's weird. If I okay, it's just oh, I don't remember how does this work. I'm just gonna try if I don't think any of this stuff will work. Yeah. What if I have this like higher up? But I don't think it's gonna. So there's this. How does this stuff work actually? What if I just try to do the refill thing here again? So I pick up that and I refill. Oops. I pick up this. Okay, then it fills. Should I just like turn everything off before? So if I do it here like this, okay, and now I turn them back on, and I had this chosen, so I think it should work now. Maybe. Okay, let's try to apply some of those new colors now. It doesn't actually look too bad, like these kind of like pastel colors on the dark this dark brown background, but there's still like quite I think I have like a better idea with these new colors. So let's start with the orange one. So let's actually start with the survivable probability one, because I think it has the smallest change occurring. And what's this? I don't know what just happened. Yeah, so I was thinking like, I think I tried it at some point, but I couldn't find a way how to change, like select multiple of these vector elements at once if I want to change all of their color. And it's very annoying because like oftentimes it would be like kind of like nice to be able to change all the colors at the same time. So for this one I'm gonna be trying the yellow color. I'm kind of annoying that this is such we don't need those. So I want to have this one, be able to select this one. So yeah, we just have to go. I think we just have to click every element here, and then there's this text editor menu that you won't be seeing, but yeah, so this is quite a lot of clicking, but it's okay. And yeah, we're just gonna like look how these colors look and how well they like fit with one another. It's gonna be, and we're gonna I wouldn't have to like do this with all the elements, but I think it kind of helps. Oh, actually, yeah, and this is also. I don't know if I want to do the green ones yet. Maybe okay, I'm gonna do with this one, and I'm gonna see like how big the change is, because if it's not too big, then I'm gonna do that stuff last. Actually, yeah, it's quite a big difference. And then there's this new, this a little bit darker green that I have here on the right. It's very close to this old green that I have to indicate the change. That's now gonna be this bright green. So yeah, I think I have to. It's good to do those changes as well. So let's do these population variables. Yeah, I think this pink, I never really liked this pink color that I used to have. And oh, actually, where do I have? Oh yeah, let's actually see what happens. Yeah, it's here. Yeah, this color was good to make it distinct from other stuff, but other than that, it's kind of like alien color in a sense. I'm gonna get rid of this one. Oops. Here. I'm gonna bring these a little bit closer. Uh, I'm gonna go here for a while, these expected populations, because I want to see how these two different greens that I want to use, how well do they work with each other. Yeah, look at this, like they are, these were like so close to each other. Now let's see if this is like separate enough. Yeah, I think it's quite different, maybe. I'm still a little bit worried that is this like a, is it too similar after all? And now like the bottom is gonna be very green all over. So it's like I'm gonna at the same time actually do some, okay, I forgot. I should do some other, or actually this is correct. Yeah, I'm not still sure if I want to have. There's a lot, like with this color palette, there's a lot of, like when I choose this, there's a lot of balances that I have to make. Like this is like the one major balance here, that are these different enough. But then if you have this dark green, if you go darker with the green, then it's harder and harder to distinct it from the background. And I think the benefit of this dark green, that it is quite maybe like pleasant to read because it's so dark. And I want to leave these to be gray like that. But I wonder if this, like having these numbers here, will it make harder? Like it kind of like a little bit ruins this easy reading vibe. There would have been actually faster way to try this, like these different colors, but I think we are a little bit past that now. Or I could still do it. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just do this until the end. I'm just gonna hide that for now. I think I want to try I want to try like I think in the final project there will be like 3 of these population outcome variables. So I kind of like want to try like how does like that amount work. Is there 2 of these? Yeah, I think this is a lot, at least this is like a lot more pleasant to read. This kind of like dark green than the pink one was. Because the pink one is just like, I think it's a little bit annoying to your eyes. Did I change? I didn't change the orange one yet, so I have the old orange here, and you can kind of like see how different it looks, or how it's a little bit too bright compared to this. But I'm not sure if I like this one either. This might be a little bit like too earthy. I could afford it to be a little bit brighter. And I'm gonna try here actually. I'm gonna try this red color. Because this is also, there should be like a strong contrast between this orange and the red one. And I wonder if this is enough. Maybe it is enough. Let's see, like try to make this one. I think the point of this was how do I get to change? I think it's here. How do I get to change this color? There's like there's no color selector here. Just like can't I? I wonder if I can feel this. Yeah, maybe it's not so important now. Also like one thing that I was thinking about when I chose these colors is I'm not actually a little bit unsure about how well does the orange and the red one work. I wonder if could the orange be somehow because I wanted to keep it kind of not too bright because the red one is very bright, so that would kind of like separate the orange one. But if I make it brighter or more saturated, I think it could I wonder if that could actually help to distinct it from the red one. Let's see here, the orange one. These what direction should I go here? Like here, if I would have it like this instead. I think I have to paint, why can't I paint? Oh, it's the eraser. So if I had this, I'm gonna move this a little bit lower so it's closer to the stuff that I'm working with. So let's try. Did it change? No. Or is it just like such a subtle change that you cannot really see it? Yeah, I think it's just so subtle. I'm gonna change this one. I don't know, but you cannot really see the difference. Oh yeah, let's try this, because this is supposed to have it might not be so bad if this has those gray like this is annoying that, oops. Okay, I'm gonna pick the gray from here now. Like I haven't really like figured out a very good workflow like for trying out these colors. Or I would imagine like that you have like this kind of software that there would be like an easier ways to, or better ways to do things, but I haven't really. Like there's so many annoyances. Okay, now that I have the gray here, I think the gray makes it somehow better, like this orange red distinction. Maybe it's somehow like more easier to take a look at the red thing or something, and that, I don't know, but somehow this is better now. Maybe this is okay, and at least for now I think it could be okay. But yeah, this color still not sure. And let's look at this font size. What do we have? We have like font size 8 here, but this would be, because this would be like the size of the web page. So I'm gonna like thinking are these too small fonts that we have here. We could probably have bigger fonts. but so I think that could be like something to look into now, like this scale thing and the overall layout thing. So let's try to make this kind of, can I so okay, I'm wrong place. So I'm gonna copy paste this stuff and take it here. Yeah, one thing that I was thinking is, because I have this grid of 12 columns, because that's I'm gonna be doing this in Shiny in R, the final website, and it has like this kind of like 12 grid system of columns, but it's not so rigid. But I've used this to kind of like, I don't know, somehow make it easier to look at placements and stuff. But I wonder where did I set this grid, because I could I'm gonna try and put 24 grid system. There's somewhere, because I think that's gonna help around with some stuff. Show grid there, but there's no, how do you change the grid? It's just like show grid. Yeah, I cannot really find it, but I'm not sure if it's, I think we can manage without. Yeah, the idea was there that what I can do. I don't think I have it anywhere here either. I'm gonna Google. Okay, it should be a Docker. So grids and guides. So here, so you don't choose how many they are, but you should choose pixels. So if X spacing is now 320, so I'm gonna have 160. So that should, yeah, that works. It's the rendering else here. I should change the Y spacing at the same time so it doesn't subdivision. Okay, no. Or actually, could I? Yeah, I don't think I need that. Okay. So what this does now, it makes it easier for me to kind of like move away from this grid system that I have had, and so because I can use this, so I want to increase the the space between these by 50%. So that makes because one of the biggest issues with the site so far has been that it's just it's a bit too crowded, bit too noisy to read. Actually, if I should I move this here actually, or because if that's kind of like the starting point, I should actually use that. So I want to move, come on. I could also move everything like down just a little bit, like this. So that makes it easier to kind of make some changes. Let's have this kind of. So if I move, come on. Do I want to move this here? Okay, it's a little bit tricky actually. I cannot. Let's. If I have this here. This from here, and then if I have this one, it's a little bit annoying with these arrows. Is it even like possible now to double these? Oh yeah, if I can I even like have a 50% change? Do I have to go like 100% change if I want to stay with these grids? Because it's not like it's not, you cannot really like divide these like that. Why doesn't this one thing? It's super annoying with this. You never get this one. Okay, now it takes everything. Can I have it here? Yeah, it doesn't work like this. Or I could have it. Yeah, I should have it here. Yeah, it works. it's okay. Yeah, so everything just moves. And you take this one here, and then you have these ones here, like that. And then we're gonna have an example if we have so we need to put this one at least here, or like, is it even here? So this is such big. Oh, it does. This seems wrong. I think just like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's too much space actually between here. So we went a little bit too far. So if this one goes here, I wonder if it's like this. So now we have like instead of 1, 2, we have like 3 blocks of difference. And now if we take this one and we put it here in the center, or we center it a little bit differently, so it's not like oh, but this might bring a little bit of an issue. I think it's better to have it would be better to have these it would be better to have these ones in places that because I want to have these where the year changes. So if I have this one over here, like this, and then we have this one. This is now 3 blocks away from that. Yeah, I think that looks okay. This could be like a good balance now. So what we now want to do is now we try to have this one here like this, and here it's gonna be in the same spot. Gonna put these ones. Like that. So now there's a lot more air between those, but I wonder if it's kind of like too much. stuff now. Suddenly it looks like this takes like so much space now, like these two. It's like a basically like two time scales. There's like 100 year and 1,000 year. I don't like these years are not written correctly now, but so I have this idea. Let's try this idea that I have had now, like how to. Oh, actually, there should be this. Here I have this timeline. Okay, is it here? This timeline thing. I think I have to move everything down just a little bit, and then I can put this timeline here. Now I have to change everything here a bit. Like this is the scaling is off now here. So I will have like this 2035 to be here where there are these yellow and green things, and this 20, or actually it's gonna be because I want to skip the 10-year interval and go straight to 100 years. So this will be 2125, and then there's going to be 3025, which is actually it's actually at the correct spot now. I could actually do like a very small. It's gonna take. Okay. Are there like many? What's happening? Doesn't this go away? Okay. There's like duplicates here or something. Okay, we can move this one here. This is gonna be over here. We're gonna make this one smaller. Why are there like two of these? And is it possible? Okay. Everything is in double. Okay, here too. How does this happen? Or it's like even triple. I don't know what has caused this. Okay, move this one here. Take that one off. So now, how am I gonna show? I'm also thinking like, was it correct to reduce this? Like if you look at the bottom ones here especially, there's quite a lot of empty space between these here, even though I kind of like get it that it's good to have some empty space. It makes it more pleasant to read, but I'm not sure if this is kind of like if this is like a correct kind of empty space. Is this kind of like I don't know. So but I do have this idea that we might need like more text here to the left if I want to have like a I want to have like the potential number in the same spot. But yeah, let's play around with this idea of so let's maybe make a vector layer here. So what if this was gray instead? Yeah, there's like 3 of these. I don't understand. So this will continue up here. Let's move these out of the way. And yeah, I had the idea that I would have, how did I think it could fit? Because I had the idea that I would have a tutorial thing right like here to the right, that it wouldn't be so wide but it would be tall, but I don't know if I can fit pretty much anything up there. I also had the idea of, well, I could, maybe I could, yeah, I don't know, let's think. Let's try, where did I make this new thing? Maybe it's this one that I wanted to do. So we want to make some kind of gray, kind of light gray, box, and I kind of want it to be how can I get there was some way to get this kind of pattern. I think it might be here. Spacing. No. It's somewhere over here. Was it scatter? No. Or this one? No. Hmm. Oh, I think I found it. So here, no, it doesn't work. Oh, what if I have this but smaller? Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it only works with these brushes. Yeah, like here it works. So what about this one? Yeah, it works for this one as well, but it doesn't work for this. Okay, it works now. For some reason it didn't work like just before then. So what I want to have here is like, where would it start? I think it should start over here. Should be at this kind of thing. And okay, we are at wrong. Oh, I think what might be the issue is that I cannot. It doesn't work as vector. It only works like in this kind of like paint layer, but it doesn't work in. Or what if I have in vector layer? Because shouldn't I be able to change some of this stuff here? But no, not really happening. Nothing. I don't think there's any of these things will help. Brush. No out. Wait a minute. Brush outline. Fill. No. So what about? What is this doing now? What's why does it look like that? What's going on? I have some like weird mode activated that I don't know what's happening. Oh, Yeah, okay, but why is it's somehow like making this kind of copies? Huh, why? Hmm. Did I click here something? I don't think so. What if I choose this? Does it do the same thing? Yeah. I just click here, it does this kind of copy of what I had before. Why? What if I click here? Yeah, this works. Still. I don't even think that I didn't change anything here. Oh, is it this one? Did I click this? Yeah, I clicked this. I don't remember clicking this. Yeah. Okay, this is the one where I have. Yeah, but it's because of this vector layer. Yeah. Um, yeah, maybe I'll just do a paint layer if nothing else works. But it's kind of weird, like why doesn't it allow me to do this? Can I do this? No. Why cannot I do in vector layer this kind of thing? And what's this stuff here? I don't know. So it would go. Oops. Let's take this from here to here. Have this box. Okay, I'm gonna. This doesn't really work. This. I think there's some actual way to change the background color, but I haven't. I can't be bothered to figure it out. So I'm gonna move this trash from here. See if we can find it. It's somewhere here. Yeah, it's over here. Select these, and then there's this stuff. Yeah, it's just this one. Just gonna move this over here. And now here, there's always this. There's always gonna be this. I don't know. I cannot really figure it out. Okay, now we have to focus here, and then there's some stuff that I also want to take. Okay, it's in this layer. So these ones I want to take off now, because I want to be able to see better like how this looks. Take this one off. And So I'm gonna write here add years 2026 to 12,025, something like that. I can make a button. Somehow there should be some kind of gray like that. Okay, it has to be brighter, quite a lot brighter. No. Okay. Okay, so we have this kind of button. Somehow this goes a little bit too much. So I think this should be. Can we make under this one? Now we feel. Maybe this should be something like very dark gray or something. So like this. So is there a way to bring the front like that? So now the user can click here. So this kind of like indicates where they would come. So the other idea is to, I could make this like this 10,000 year time scale grayed out, and especially like maybe, or at least like this year here, like to indicate that it's not in use, but then this grayness means that you can kind of like activate it. Something like this. And then if you click here and it appears, then there's gonna be I can actually move this a bit further to the left if I want to be exact. I don't know. All right, I could I could also have like those, have like this kind of like, or maybe I shouldn't have like those. Like I could have these, like have everything with 0 value there, and maybe also grayed out. and then have this a little bit brighter. But if I have all those values there, then I don't have. Oh, actually, if I move this, what if I move this up here? So it would be like clickable over here, and then I could have in here those, or instead of like zeros I could have it like xxx or something like that, something like something to indicate that it's not in use. It could be nice to have this add button here. I think this is quite like attention grabbing, this line up here, and you could also have, you could make this, higher, and then I could like have it in there. I could have just like also add add 12,025 or something like that. So then the maybe the user will understand that. So I'm gonna show what I mean. So add 12,025, and if I make this a lot bigger, so I want to have it the same size. So it's easier to make the connection that this is in relation to that those other things. Something like that. But somehow, like, how does the user understand that this is a button? I'm not really sure that it works so well right now. I don't think this should be some kind of like I don't know what's the symbol for clicking. I guess could I use something like that? Yeah, there's this like a mouse arrow symbol, and okay, by Google I found like the mouse arrow symbol, or this kind of like finger symbol. So I could use something like that. I wonder if it would be nice if there was. I also try to look at some point that if there's. Well, I found these arrows as this kind of like, is it ASCII or like how did I even write this? So I don't remember anymore like how maybe I like copy pasted this somehow. Let's see if I can find. Maybe it's okay. I had some site somewhere where I had these. I'm not sure if that was the one where I. Oh, I'm gonna try to bring it up actually for you to see, and we're gonna take a look. Let's see. Here. Okay, okay. Okay, let's try like, but I don't think it is gonna work. Click. Mouse. Okay. It wasn't this site where I got this because it was something that you could copy paste, and this is not really like you cannot copy paste this thing here. So it was some other site. Okay, I'm just gonna. This is not gonna work, but I'm just gonna try. Yeah. What was this? Okay. I'm gonna try again something. Okay, I copied here something. Let's see. Yeah, I think this worked. I got it here. Yeah, it was something like this. So now I have the arrow here. So at least this site works if I can find something here. and this could be like useful for a lot of other stuff as well. So it seems quite limited. I could find here if there's this kind of like you know, computer arrow thing, but I think these are just like to because I want to find this kind of like mouse cursor thing that's kind of like you have, like I have here, like my mouse symbol here. It has this kind of 45-degree angle thing going on, because otherwise you cannot like. Well, basically maybe I could just take some kind of. This is close. Or it would be even better to have this kind of hand symbol. Let's try if we have a some other symbols. Oh, actually I haven't even checked that. Can I copy paste these here? If I take this. Yeah, I can. So okay, this seems promising. I could actually also now that I'm here, I should check if I can. Okay, like this is the kind of square that I had in mind before. Now that if I can just like have the, if I can have, could have this kind of square where I have the arrow inside, because it would be too much work, I think, to, or maybe not. Well, it sounds a little bit a lot work to if I would have to like place those arrows, kind of like align them with these boxes. So let's see if we could also find some other interesting symbols here. Yeah, no luck so far. It could also be like if I have some, if it would be like a very wide arrow, like this could be kind of like nice, but then it's hard to make out that it's arrow. This could be okay, but I'm not sure if it's wide enough. but it's kind of like tall. I think the tallness is also quite nice. We didn't find. Yeah, I'm not sure if there is this kind of arrow inside square thing. I think I have like gone through few of these kind of sites and I don't remember seeing anything like that. Okay, here are like some hand symbols, but there's no this kind of click symbol. It's here. That's like keyboard stuff, and it's kind of like cool to browse through this kind of stuff, because you kind of like it kind of shows you that like what are kind of like universal symbols. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't think I found anything in here. Well, in math I could like actually I could use some of those somethings and whatever, but I think it would require, I'm not sure. Letters. Yeah, it's not gonna be here. I'm gonna check here if there's like a lot of arrows here, so something could be useful for me. Here are like some pretty wide arrows. Like this could work maybe for my purpose. Also, like now I'm like remembering like why I have these wide arrows to begin with. It might have to do with because they take so little vertical space, but if I have those box things, that's gonna take a lot of vertical space, so maybe for the time being it's best to stick to these. I'm not sure. So, but I'm gonna check if, yeah, this is also like pretty, this is pretty nice because it's so wide. Let's see if there's like actually, now that we are here, like are there like better arrows than what I have, just in general. I also remember like for some case the arrows or something that I took from some site, they were like super different, or they look very different at Krita than they did on the site. Yeah, this is quite familiar. Yeah, this is pretty cool design here. Yeah. So these are like, let's try HTML. Click. Okay, I can copy it here. Yeah. So this is the site that I was before. That was very good. Because there's so much of this stuff here. So now I'm just thinking like, could I find misc symbols. This would be like, this looks very familiar to what we looked at the other side, and I'm not sure, like it might be that these are just like, yeah, especially if they are like, they have this kind of like coding emojis, I don't know. I think I was at symbols, or maybe not. I spent way too much time on this. It's not so important. Yeah, this is the one that I'm using here. I think there should be like some option to see everything. Symbols, it has to be something with symbols. You would imagine that it's like very, like here's like a other kind of like hand. You would imagine it's very like popular symbol, or it's kind of often used symbol. Okay, I'm gonna give up for now, and we're gonna do something else. Just want to remove this. Okay. Yeah, you don't really get the vibe that you are clicking anything here. What if I change this? And this is where the symbol would have helped, but it's not gonna happen now. put this we fill it with like very bright, and then we I don't know if I want to have this in black. Yeah, no. I would want to have this in white, because that's, you get the connection there, and then I can have this. Come on. Oh yeah, I forgot. I can have this to be whiter, I think. I don't know. Yeah, you don't really get the feeling that. Yeah, I don't think it's really working as I intended to do. Okay, let's continue with something. Continue with thinking about the layout, and so is this like the final height? I don't think so. I think we're gonna need a bit more height over here at least. Okay, there's quite a lot of room here. Need quite a lot of height. Okay, let's move the tutorial stuff again out of the way, and this color stuff out of the way, and something here. It's from here. I'm gonna move this. That. So now we want to have. Let's think about how much stuff do we want to have here, and is there? Did we have right hand inputs? Yeah, this is. I'm gonna make here a new group layer. So let's have like a new graph area, and inside that I think I'm gonna try to have a vector, and here yeah, let's try out how this would look like. We don't need so much more space here. Like, it could be like this. Could have like there could be like this kind of separation, because I want to make, especially like with this, when they have because there's like 90 years here first, and then, or actually wait, there's 100 years here, and then there's 900 years from here to the right, and here to the left is 100 years. So I gonna like want to make some indication then that there's this difference. I'm just gonna try out those colors here as well. So let's have a, we have here some extinction probability, and here we have a lower extinction probability. And then we have this survival probability. I could actually use okay, I have the colors over there. So this would start from 100 and it would go to like 95 over here. It's gonna be something like 70 over here. And then we have the population outcome, which is a bit tricky. How did I think about doing this? I could have it for the cumulative population. Then I have to signify that it is the cumulative population. I could also, one thing that I have done before is that I just kind of like, let's have a paint layer here. I just kind of, come on. I didn't take the color here. I just kind of like fill this area with the color that signifies the population. This seems a little bit bright now. It's I think it's not clear enough that this is now the darker green and not the lighter green. It seems a little worrisome. But this doesn't work so well because we have if we had like if our population level would be so this first green thing here if it was constant always, then this would work very well, but it's not so I'm not quite sure about that. But if we have what did I do? So if we have why does it do this? What's happening? So if we have this, okay, now it works. So it could start at 0 because there's gonna be this. We don't have the cumulative. Okay, I'm gonna change this because it's getting annoying me that we have a wrong thing going on. New outputs, and then it's here. So we would have cumulative population like that. So this would be a lot bigger. This would be like I'm just gonna put here something here now. This would be 100 times bigger. This would be like but not quite. This would or it's or or I could have here the thing like, so it would be human lives lived. Just a minute. Okay. Like that. So if you have it like that, so this would help to better indicate the scale, that here this is gonna end up in a low level, and then like within the next 900 years it's gonna be a lot bigger. Yeah, here I could have the potential like this is gonna be almost to the level of this. So if you have, I'm gonna change something else to make this one. Well, there's gonna be like something like 70% or something. And then here this is gonna be 70 something, like that. And here let's say let's put like something like this. This is like maybe not correct, but and I'm gonna do one more thing. Okay, that's correct actually. But yeah, these are all not 2125, they are 3025. So yeah, I was thinking now that could I have like a fourth variable, like or could I have in here like somehow the, because I want to indicate something weird. I want to indicate the potential population, and now I only have 3 colors, or I don't want to, yeah, I have 3 colors or 3 categories. I have like a extinction probability category, survival probability, and then I have the population category, which is kind of like it has a lot of like these sub variables or something like that, but I don't really want to have more colors because it gets harder to. I think 5 colors is quite could be kind of like optimal palette, especially if you want to keep kind of like this warm. Wait a minute. Yeah, if I want to keep this palette kind of like warm and stuff, so and don't want and I want to keep those colors so that they are distinct enough from one another. So that's kind of like so one solution here is that I could use kind of I could use I could use this kind of like dashed stuff, but again it's quite annoying that you cannot do that with vectors. I'm gonna try again. Okay, but could it be actually because I don't think it has to do with that. So, but I'm gonna just put it for now like in this. So this is gonna be like very close here. You cannot really make up the difference. Like here, and I could do something similar if I add here in the text, or like in here, like up here, like in this between these numbers, these kind of like potential population, like I could add here something like this to indicate that okay, these are like now the potentials, but it doesn't really work maybe like in this one, but if I add another row where I have those, then like yeah, I could also have like I'm not sure if this is like a right call, but have like here in 100 this kind of for survival. Oh yeah, one thing that I wanted to do, I want to try out now, which is gonna take more space though. It's yeah, I'm getting more worried about the space now than I was before, like both like the horizontal space and the vertical space, so that is there enough space, because I have to add here a thing. So okay, I'm gonna calculate this out actually. 0.0510. No. I had okay. I actually have it there. I forgot. So yeah, I just had to. I'm just gonna like move that like one in 1961. Or this takes quite a lot of space, so I'm considering also like because this is how you also, yeah, I think this is maybe good enough. So I take it off from there, and I also like consider at one point to have like this kind of presentation as kind of like the main way to show this, but I think that it's just it's not really working so well if I want to have this change thing, which is here now. So yeah, something like that. And I could have this bigger now. Does this? So I could have here like 9. I could have this bigger as well. At least like if you look at the vertical space or the horizontal space, but I think now at this point it's the vertical space that I have to be more concerned about, and there's like options there. Yeah, it looks a little bit distracting actually here, this to have this here, especially if these numbers line up with these arrows, which they in this case do, and I can imagine that in many cases they will do. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. On the other hand, it would be such like a better, it is such a better way to indicate this. I wonder if I have it just like a little bit smaller, would that be bad? And I also I don't really like want to put it down here, because it's linked to this. It's not, because if I put it down here, then you kind of like link it with this like 10 minus 0.001 10% or whatever, instead of this. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. I wonder if I add one in, and then I could like increase the size again. Like, would this work? Because now it kind of like doesn't line up with those. Arrows, so this could work better. I could move it lower even. So now it's kind of like clear that those arrows are about this number. I could also move this a little bit lower, but I kind of like want to make it so that you make the connection. Yeah, also like this per year thing. I would kind of like want to make it so big that it's touching both of those. So I'm thinking like, what if it's like this big? And it has to have this. Something like this. On the other hand, like now, do you kind of like think that this is for? What if you have a not this one, but this one, and just a little bit smaller? So you don't think that it could be something like this? I think it would be nice to have like this. I could actually, then I'm thinking about like, could I move this one? Could I move it here? What if it was here to the right and I could make it a little bit bigger? Because I could use up this if I have this kind of could even put this at different lines here. Something like this. Because now if I have here in the extinction, probably I have this per year like to the right of the number, then I could have it here to the right as well, so it they kind of work together like that. Not quite sure, but okay, here's a little bit of annoyance that there's now quite a lot of overlap. If you look at this per year text, it's kind of like it's kind of, well, I'm not sure if that's too bad, but yeah, if you look at this at 2025, it's quite close to this block here. But I do have like, I don't know, I have a little bit of I wonder how much space do I need. I could use, maybe I don't need quite like this much space. Maybe it's okay. So yeah, yeah, I'm not quite happy with this, but it would be very nice to have this be more pronounced. Let's see if we take the bolding off, because I kind of want to make it, I want to make it distinct enough from this and from these arrows, but I also want to keep it kind of prominent. What if I make it a little bit smaller? Yeah, now it's kind of like, I don't know if I need this one here. Like if I have this in white, like higher up here, because if this was here, especially if it's in orange, it just gets a bit too crowded. But now, if it's here, gonna put correct numbers here. It's 2025. And we put like 100 years. I wonder if it would work like that. Just gonna take these away. If this was like here, something like this. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I'm gonna take this. Gonna put it in this one, and we're gonna take. And these fonts have been like too small before. So now we have here 900 years. I think like having these, especially like this 100 years, 900 year things in big enough font, it also helps for the reader to understand that okay, now we are looking at different length of time scale here than in the other one. So yeah, now this looks a lot more balanced if you look at this extinction probability thing. Now I wonder if I'm gonna try to make this bold again. Like if I just maybe I don't this, yeah, I'm gonna make this smaller again. Here and put it lower, because if I put it lower here, then it's gonna like it works better with this next one. And this could be also like by. I'm not quite sure which one is better expression, like at or by. Yeah, I think this is quite okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if these are needed. Maybe they are. You could also have it like here. I think here it works better as at, and if it's here like at, then it has to be at in the other one too. Yeah, these are in a little bit different height. Yeah. It would be nice to have, because I have the other. Okay, I'm gonna do the. So I have the new graph area here. gonna try to make a copy of this first, and like here there isn't like, I could maybe fit, do I need these ones? Yeah, I think I need these ones, but there's something here that I can maybe I don't need that much vertical space up here, because if I have more horizontal empty space, that kind of compensates some of the lack of vertical empty space, because I think the point of the empty space, or a lot of it, is to so that it brings kind of like a opportunity for the eyes to rest and stuff like that. So oops. So I'm gonna move these. God, how high is that? Oh yeah, there's the, oh, it's so annoying with these arrow things, and I don't know if there's a good solution now. So this is here, and then we have, can I use these same numbers for now? I could have just copy pasted that other one. So those are there. I would want to maybe draw some arrows between these. I'm gonna show what I mean. Like here, how to make connection, or what are the connections between these. Oh come on, I don't want this anymore. Okay. Like here, like this 70%, it's the result of this 95%, and this one here. So it could be nice to, actually it's a little bit tricky to I wonder if I draw this kind of arrow, does the user think that it's coming from this 10% thing, or this 51% thing? So these kind of arrows, and then this for this, and again, okay, not this, but here something like this. That kind of arrows. Like how much easier do these kind of arrow things make this to read? And if I want to have these arrows, then I need more vertical space to allow for a room for those. But okay, let's try if I move this up. How high can I move this? And here, how can I move this? Yeah, it can be closer. And here I could like again I could move these ones to the right hand side, so it makes it it could makes it easier. I'm not quite sure. It also like makes the having those things in the right hand side, it makes the arrows not look so good, I think. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So if I can have less, if I don't need so much space, I can move these. I think these are like too close. You have to have, and then I had the idea that they would need to be there would need to be that kind of difference to the potential thing if I want to indicate that. Oh dear. I gotta screw this up now. I'm gonna try to move. Okay, let's see how much space do we have there. Could I have it like here? Not quite here. And also, we're gonna need more space up here if there's like a larger time scale. So then we're always gonna add here. Well, it isn't not too much, and I don't think I really have to carry it now. This is just that I want these elements to fit in these slides. Yeah, and we could maybe make this work. So the point here is to make, so this would be now the linear timescale graph in here. Make it like this and then make the connection. And in kind of like when this is in production or whatever, then you could just scroll down. Like it wouldn't matter if these graph areas don't actually fit in the like the when you like first come to the site, if they don't really fit, but you have to scroll to reach them, because yeah, especially if you just see at least like a little bit of the graph area when you first enter the site. You don't have to see all of them. Like it's the graph area thing. It's just like it's not important for you don't need to like see it all the time, especially because I'm not quite sure yet. Like I have this other site that I did where I found that it was very heavy to draw those graphs for R, especially because I was using ggplot2, which is like so I made it so that by default you have to kind of like what did I do here? Click. You have to kind of click that like to redraw, and it won't redraw even if you make changes until you click the redraw. So it doesn't automatically redraw because it's just like a, especially if you make like a lot of changes in quick succession, then it gets like super heavy. This is so now it's still like a linear, so we still end up at the same point, but now it kind of like shows that actually this should be, yeah, if we have this constant risk rate, then this should form, oh, I'm actually gonna draw it like that, then this should form this kind of like uniform or like steadily increasing. And I'm not sure if then like do we need, you could have just one, we don't maybe need this kind of like divider between these areas. Not quite sure. It could be. Oh yeah, but we don't have, okay, I kind of forgot. Yeah, we don't have uniform risk rate. Or actually, yeah, it didn't. Yeah, and also it's relevant for the survival rate. It's not for the population rate. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm gonna think this too. Yeah, this would go at default rate if this was, but now it's kind of like the how I have to do it, that the base kind of slows down after this initial, because, well, I'm gonna do this so that the rate is lower after that period. And it's also like, again, like one thing that I sometimes consider is that, like, do I want to have would it be better after all to have some kinds of like these rates to be, I don't know, yeah. So just take, so like that, and now yeah, this has to end at the same point. That yeah, how to connect these, to just use like maybe white. I think in general I have here like white as well, it's a general color, but it's also this color of time in a sense. Although I have it here also as a menu color, but it could be like a nice idea to have a specific color for time, but I think that goes a little bit too, I'm not really sure if that would work. so well. So here it's kind of like this kind of, yeah, this doesn't really work so well in, because I have only two different time scales. Like when I have those other things where there are, yeah, it might be hard to make the connection here. I also think I want to maybe have these lines in as dashed or something, because now it kind of, or at least have them thinner or something, because now it's now it kind of like looks like that we have like one, or this is like just now like a big square, instead of like, because I'm trying to indicate that I'm connecting these two areas, but it's not really, it doesn't really work like that now. Just like for now I'm just gonna make these thinner. I think there are better ways to do this as well, not quite as thin. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have that. Yeah, gray is maybe not. I should maybe use just like white in here as well, but just make it, especially because like here I used gray for to indicate this, that you can add more stuff. Then I could also use that gray, let's see, to show let's see, do I have now the, okay, and just put it gray. If I had white there, then I just could just draw this kind of because now you can, now that kind of like brings the connection to that possibility to add those new areas, like this now indicates. I think I should have these bigger. Yeah, something like this. Now you kind of like make the connection to this one. I think I'm gonna make this one, this should be like bigger like this. Yeah. Gonna take that one, put it here. Yeah, I think this this might be the best way for the user to make the connection, or like understand the connection between these two graphs, that okay, they notice that these are now at the same level. As in the, like, or between the graphs, or gonna like, yeah, I think that could help make the connection. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Can make these again. So we have the gray one on it's like this. We have the yellow. Yeah, I don't know if this is necessary. So I forgot this one. I also want to make, like, because we have this green line in the picture. Oh yeah, there's one thing that you could do, like, I don't know. I could use as green the expected population level instead of the cumulative, and then I could fill that one with the green color to indicate that, okay, this area under the curve is meaningful, and I don't know, yeah. It might depend on whether this looks better as if this is the final height, and these are like pretty. This might not be the final height because, yeah, as I said, I want, like, I don't have to worry about the height limitations so much because it's scrollable like the final product. But then again, on the other hand, I have to, like, at this point I have to think about, like, what's the how does it look like here if I gonna, like, use this for some applications and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. So, but I also don't want to make, like, too many compromises, like, so that I would make this so that it just looks good as a static, and then I would have to make, like, major design changes for the final product. It's not, especially because I'm not very optimistic about, like, getting any grants or whatever. It's gonna be a hobby project, most likely. But also, like, in terms of feed, like, yeah, maybe one thing, if I want to get feedback, like, then also that people understand that, like what am I trying to do with the site. So I think there's some kind of balance there, to make this version understandable. I don't know. Yeah, I'm a little bit. I was more optimistic about, like, or maybe too optimistic about, like, that I would have like a space for this kind of tutorial thing. And now, especially if I have this one here, I think I should have. It would actually maybe be better. Like, maybe this would be the solution. Like, instead of this, dashed line, I could just have like a transparent gray area. Not quite sure. I could have both, but let's have this kind of thing here. How do I make this? Oh, here. So now it's kind of like it's more, I think it's more visible now. And maybe this like this add 12,025, maybe now it stands out more now as some kind of clickable objects that I want it to be. I could also have, yeah, I could have that, and can take that off. I wonder if I had some other ideas as well. Yeah, do I need the tutorial area? The point about the tutorial area was to, it could also, I think it would be nice to have it on the final product, and also the point now, it also helps the, like there's the yellow text on the left, that's kind of like specific to these slides, but the tutorial area's point more specifically was to show that how the different variables connect to each other and how the math works. Thinking like this takes like 4 blocks of horizontal space now, or vertical space. So I could have just like the upper graph area, or I could like drop the graph. I could probably like make 2 different slides from this. Yeah, maybe like the other one with the tutorial closed, and the other one with the tutorial on. And when the tutorial is on, then the graph areas are just you can maybe like see a bit of the on the top of the first graph. And then I could add like on the side also like the scroll bar to indicate, okay, that yeah, it's visible. And then of course like the user can see in the same view or yeah, like if I show this to someone, like the user has to access to both slides, so it's not so, yeah, I shouldn't like, I don't need to try to fit everything in one view like too badly. Like it's good, but it's not like, it's not kind of like, mandatory. So yeah, maybe I had the idea before that I would want to have this tutorial area to the kind of like right hand side, so that it would be, now that it's kind of like this horizontal thing, but it so that it would be like a more vertical oriented thing. But now if I go with this plan that I just put it up there, then I don't have to make the other version. I just have to change these colors, and there's some stuff here that's not really relevant. Yeah, I just have to make some changes here. Maybe, I don't know, if it's kind of annoying, like in Krita there's no this kind of like equation tool, or at least I haven't found, or I think there was something, but it wasn't good for the purpose. So I used some other tool, and then I just took it as an image here. So, and it was a little bit annoying, so I have to do that again, maybe. It could also be that if the tutorial is on, then they would have the arrows or something, I don't know. There's also the benefit that if I make two different slides from this, then I can do some other, I can like present some other variation there as well. Not quite sure what, but yeah, for example, like, yeah, those arrows, like, it could like kind of like show that, like how they gonna like, I don't know. Yeah. But I think I'm gonna end it in this now. I think I had some other things planned, but I have kind of like forgotten what it was about. Yeah. Bye.